Alright, so welcome to this afternoon's tropical weather update. I just finished up my 7 hour live stream because it actually won't let me live stream anymore on StreamYard. This is a free live stream thing that I found because I reached the limit. So before I start this video, I just want to say that if you guys know any free live streaming platforms or anything, please put it in the comments down below because I love really tracking systems and doing live streams on those tropical systems for you guys. So if you know any, please tell me in the comments down below. But let's start off with today's tropical weather update, where we are currently tracking Cristobal right now, which has formed a little over 2 hours ago, maybe. But it was previously known as Amanda, right here, from right here, dissipated around here, and is now Cristobal. But let's look at everything we have going on with the system. First off, let's look at this cone. So rather large cone of uncertainty is rather large. We are seeing those potential possibilities for a landfall anywhere on Texas all the way to Florida are where we are seeing those possibilities. Right now, current winds are 40 mile per hour, but keep in mind that Recon did find up to 60 mile per hour winds in that system. But here's the current track of the system. Right here, they're expecting 65 mile per hour winds right here. I currently expect this to be a Cat 1, Cat 2 once it reaches at least landfall area. But we're just going to have to see how this does develop. This is the earliest sea storm on record, I believe. And there's still a slight chance we could be seeing Dolly somewhere in the Atlantic. But some models do actually show the system come too much inland, dissipate, and then we see another system come out of there around here and become Dolly and make that Louisiana landfall. So we still have that possibility. But right now, the National Hurricane Center shows it getting very, very close to land, but not actually making landfall. Some models actually take it all the way too much into land, which would actually kill the system. But right now, that's not currently expected. Looking at this tropical storm force winds, we have a rather not too small but rather large wind field. We are seeing those tropical storm force winds in that tropical storm warning area. Tropical storm force winds, though, are not expected anywhere here, but we are expecting those tropical storm warnings all the way up the coast here as it moves north. It will continue to skim the coast very closely in the next couple of days before really starting to go straight north. So this is an approximate path of what it could potentially do. But it has already done half of its loop because this was supposed to be its loop. And as you can see, it has already done more than half of it. Pretty crazy, but we are starting to see that south movement before actually moving east and then back up north. Now let's look at tropical tidbits for some of the latest models, indication, etc. So we are getting to 35 knots winds. Satellite imagery looks rather good. But those models right here, one of them brings it to actually those Cat 1 status, the ship model, but all the other do only bring it to a strong 55 mile per hour tropical storms, maybe 60. Those are a little bit behind because it's currently around here already. So as you can see, none of the models expected it to become this strong before around 60 hours. So the models are a little bit behind. I wouldn't be surprised in the next model update, all of them, most of them, do bring it to this Cat 1 status. That could very likely be a proposition. But this would be my model right here, bringing it, kind of weakening it a little bit, and then just going to this Cat 1 status before weakening back down. Even possibly, I wouldn't rule out the possibility for a Cat 2, maybe even Cat 3 if it does really rapidly intensify. Looking at those models, we are seeing a very likely landfall anywhere from Louisiana, all right, to the Texas borderline, kind of agreeing with that cone. The cone is a little bit more to the left, though. It brings it a little more this way. But we do have mostly all models hinting or agreeing towards that Louisiana landfall, which could be bringing very heavy flooding. We're already getting catastrophic, life-threatening flooding in Mexico, and that could become a situation here in Louisiana as well. Otherwise, we do have Recon that went in, found, like I said, around 45 knot winds, 50, and more like 45, 50 knot winds in some areas. It did found that center of circulation, etc. So, it's not looking too bad. Now, if we do look at those foreskin models, the GFS really isn't really reliable, but currently it's showing a 998 millibar system in 6 hours, which is kind of unlikely that this kind of rapid intensification will happen. But it actually shows a 991 landfall, which is almost a hurricane landfall, and then it actually dissipates, like I was talking about, that possibility of the system dissipating inland. And then it actually shows a new system coming out of that remnants, which would be Dolly, and actually shows a 997 landfall in Louisiana. So the GFS shows this coming here, dissipating, and then another system comes out of there and actually make a new landfall. That's at this point getting more and more unlikely, but we're not ruling out that possibility. The CMC, I don't think it shows. Oh, it also shows that similarity of that potential. Very agreeing very closely to the GFS. Maybe that possibility of this, or it might keep the same system kind of coming this way. But it does show that system going on land a little bit more than expected. European model, I do not believe it shows it going inland too much, but we are getting that potential Louisiana landfall with all those models so far. Um, Looking at the pressure with this, they're expecting a hurricane landfall with the system 988, 986, Cat 1, strong Cat 1 possibly. So we're really going to have to see. The NavJam, let's see what the NavJam says. NavJam shows that same system coming in as a tropical storm in Louisiana. So, you get the point right now. Most models do keep that same system. Icon actually shows a rather strong system coming in the Louisiana coast, 990, 973, 975. It actually shows a 965 landfall yesterday, but they've brought that down a little bit to 973. Right now, the Icon is showing the strongest landfall with this system, quite surprisingly, actually. Most models are showing a little bit of a weaker landfall. The JMA shows a Texas landfall. So, it's going to be depending on really how this system does develop out in the next couple of days. Let's see the WW3. WW3 also showing WW3 showing a more potential Panhandle landfall for that Panhandle landfall. So we're just gonna have really to see how that does develop in the next couple of days, but it does show that possibility for that Florida landfall. But this is your tropical weather update. Right now, it's looking very likely for that Louisiana landfall as it moves up into the coast. Right now, it is going to be continuing that southward trend before really starting to move back up. We still have that possibility, though, for the system really to move inland more. But I'm going to say half of the models bring it, like the National Hurricane Center says, and half of them actually kill the system and then bring another one. If it's a new system that's going to be developing, it'll be weaker. If we keep that same system, though, we'll possibly see a stronger storm. But this is what I think it's going to be going through, really skimming the coast all the way up and then heading towards the Louisiana/Texas area, but most likely the Louisiana.